So I thought we'd do a little bit different video today. Maybe the beginning of a series of videos like this, if you guys think it's interesting. And it's about what happens, let's say you've just got a cancer diagnosis, one of the most dreaded things that can happen in most people's minds. Now I can't give you, and I don't want to give you, any kind of diagnostic or treatment advice or any medical stuff at all. So I just want to clarify right up front. Please go to your doctor, get all the drugs, get your organs cut out, get chemotherapy, get all the cutting edge science that will make you happy and healthy. And I have nothing to do with any of that, okay? This is just sharing ideas, which at the moment is still not illegal, although the censorship of it is really ramping up in the US and other places. But shoot, I mean, we're here at the moment, we gotta make the best use of the time. So what would I personally do if I got a cancer diagnosis from a doctor? The chances of that happening are pretty small because I never go to doctors and I haven't been to them for many decades. And I have no interest in going back short of an accident or something like that. But for health, boy, not one of the better places to go, in my opinion. Just for me, you can go every day if you want to. I'm just letting you know that's not where I would ever go for health. So the chances of getting a diagnosis like that for me are not high. But let's say that somehow I did. You know, I've looked at a lot of results from different approaches to cancer. And yeah, I'm saying cancer openly. I'm just tired of not being able to use any words, and hopefully we'll still be here for a while. If we disappear, find us at real.video and on our main site, lostartsradio.com. But looking at all the results from the different kinds of treatment approaches to cancer, remember we've talked about the Essene Gospel of Peace a lot. I have a real strong connection to that time and that teacher. And he didn't ask each person in the group, what disease do you have? What's your diagnosis? What is the medical category of of the disease that you supposedly have? He just told them about healing. And I think it applies now too. So what he was saying is the healing environment is very important. Don't be around really stressful situations or people. When you're seriously needing to heal your own body, go somewhere that's comforting and reassuring and healthy, and nature is accessible, you know, like anywhere that is clean and natural, and fresh air, comfortable sleeping area. Inspiring reading is fine to have with you, but no television at all. It's all programmed with very negative stuff, subliminally and overtly, and you really don't need it when you're trying to heal yourself. I would say throw away your television set anyway, but especially if you're needing to get healed, don't do that. Cell phones and things like that, emergency access only. You gotta have a different focus than being in screens all the time, okay? You can watch some inspiring movies and stuff. I'm talking about me, okay? I'm not telling you what to do. But I would watch any inspiring movies that really put me in the right frame of mind. Things like the lady we had talked about on the show that had ovarian cancer, and she went to a regular doctor, and they said, well, yeah, just have chemotherapy starting today, and when that doesn't work, we'll start cutting out your organs, and it's going to be great. And she said, well, I don't think that sounds really like a very good idea. And she went to a naturopath who had a ranch, and he said, go out to my ranch and do a juice fast and keep doing it as long as you can. That was it, and it worked, and she's 100% healthy decades later. She's gotten a lot of death threats, of course, from the medical industry mafia, because it worked and it was natural, and you're not supposed to find out about that. But she did, and she didn't have her body destroyed by the conventional treatment, so she got completely better. Anyway, in the Essene Gospel of Peace, it's a pretty inspiring story, I think. Also, Marcus Rothkranz's book, Heal Yourself 101, would really apply, I think. I would reread that myself. You want definitely good water. I wouldn't want anything with chlorine or fluoride in it, actually ever. But when you're really trying to recover your health seriously, you definitely don't want any of those ridiculous poisons in your water. The best is if you can have spring water in glass, like from Mountain Valley, that's available all over the country, but at least a really clean water, and for both drinking and bathing. And if you can bathe in some kind of outdoor water, like in a creek that's not too frozen or anything, that's great too. And I want a really good juicer, like Acme or something like that. You don't have to get a Norwalk for $2,500. Acme works, not Acme, Omega, I'm sorry. Acme was the fast spinning one, and you want a slow one with a horizontal shaft in it. Omega's like $250 or something, and they have a really good one like that. And then plenty of organic, whole, raw produce and fresh herbs and things like that. What Marcus is saying in Heal Yourself 101 is start on water, on clean water, doing enemas every day of your fast, water or juice. And I totally agree with that, having done it both ways. And there's a lot of great health teachers like at True North and other places that say we don't need enemas. Dr. Group, our friend Dr. Group, didn't do enemas when he went on his 17-day recent water fast. But personally, I found that it works way better if you do enemas every day of a fast when you're not eating solid food, so that the poison can come out faster. It doesn't sit in your system too long before it goes out. Really makes it much easier and more comfortable. A lot of people say coffee enemas. The Gerson approach was that. Dr. Gonzalez in New York used coffee enemas with great results. I've only used body temperature water enemas, and they work great. But either way, that's fine. Marcus says the coffee goes into your system and is unnecessary stimulation, and the water's better, but whatever you feel. Juice fasting is the key to that whole approach, and but Marcus puts the water fasting for a little while first to just get everything kind of primed, and I think I would do that too if that was open to me. And I forgot to mention one important thing. In the environment that you're putting together to do this, besides being in nature, peaceful, comfortable, not stressful with a lot of, pressured situations or people around you, try to be out of Wi-Fi as much as possible. Certainly don't have a router in your immediate environment. Don't have a smart meter on the wall. These things are crimes against humanity, and they're under the guise of convenience or efficiency. They know at the top level that's complete nonsense. They know all about it. So don't fall for it, and try to find a place. It's harder and harder to find places away from Wi-Fi completely, but at least don't have it in your room. Don't have it in the house you're in if possible. Have everything hardwired. If you ever have to use your cell phone, never put it on your head or your body or anything. That's very damaging to do that. This is just my ideas, okay? I'm not medically telling you anything. I'm not a medical doctor, so I can't do that anyway, and I would never want to, but just wanted to put those things in. So look at Heal Yourself 101 by Marcus Rothkranz, who's made a great contribution to everybody with that book, I think. And that's what I would do physically, and then I would use tools of consciousness, because your mind and your intent, where your attention is, are very powerful. That's why placebos often work and cure people completely, because people believe they are going to work, and so they do. And what's happened is they put by believing in it, the mechanism of the mind goes into full power and starts doing what it needs to help with the healing. So use it. Use the placebo power of positive thought whenever you can, because it's real. It's not make-believe. And great results have happened. Look at Rudolph Bruce, book by Rudolph, B-R-E-U-S-S, called The Cancer Cure, and then another one by one of the people who followed it called The Bruce Cancer Cure Correctly Applied. Jurgen or somebody wrote that. It's really good. And I would look at that. All they did is juice fasting, but very specific. And Bruce said thousands of people were totally healed with that. So I've read it multiple times. So I suggest you look at it. And, you know, people have also asked me about GCMAF, and government obviously agrees that it's valuable because they've tried to shut down access and production wherever they could. Now one of our friends in England, who was the manufacturer of it before, is awaiting trial in November. David Noakes, he's been on the show recently. Trial for, what do they call it? They maliciously twist the words to make it into something bad that a person did when they didn't do anything bad. They were a great servant of the public, like David Noakes, and they said manufacturing a medicine without a license. What a bunch of garbage. You know, since when did the medical mafia get jurisdiction over nature and a patent on nature? Well, unfortunately, they do have patents on nature now, but it's really ridiculous. So GCMAF, in spite of the fact that it's probably really good, and one of the early doctors in this recent series of doctors that got killed was killed for explaining how he was helping people with GCMAF. But since that's really hard to get, I'm doing some experimenting with herbs that you can use instead, garlic and other things like that have had fantastic results and can't be shut down because you can grow it. Many good accounts of that online. After the recovery, the basic idea with Marcus and Bruce and everybody, well, not Bruce so much. Bruce really didn't know much about what you should normally eat. He just figured out how to use the juice fasting to get healed. After that, he let people go back to eating a lot of junk, in my opinion. So instead of that, if you don't want to have a relapse, I like Marcus's idea after recovery to go on 100% raw food. I've been doing that for many years. There are ways to make it easy so it's not any kind of struggle to stay on it. You need to, when your life depends on it and you know it, like in the situation we're talking about, you really need to learn everything about that so that you're not going to have a hard time staying raw. And I'm not vegan, as you know, and there are ways that I would combine the raw vegan food with raw milk, which I think is a superfood. I'm a renegade according to the vegan teachers on that, but it works well. The theory of being 100% fruitarian, it sounds really good and simple and beautiful, but definitely didn't work for me or anybody else I've ever personally worked with. So we'll share more details of this that are a bit sensitive and hard to talk about publicly in the club meetings, lostartsradio.com/club. That's for the real serious heavy duty stuff, and it's interactive. So if you are in one of these situations and you want a safe place to discuss things like that, check out lostartsradio.com/club. And then eventually, if we get enough money, we're going to build a school where these things can be actually demonstrated and experienced firsthand. So if you're a friendly billionaire out there and you have any idea what I'm talking about and you support it, let me know. I'd love to meet you. We can't do money with any strings attached, though, because it's got to be built. The school has to be built exactly in the spirit that it's meant, and it can't be beholden to any negative interests at all. If that's the choice, we'll do without the money and just do what we can through the online club, which is fine. We'll do that. Also, I think that I'm going to make more videos like this. If you're interested, say, oh, well, this one's on the cancer diagnosis, right? But what if you have really severe arthritis or got diagnosed with diabetes and you got told you have to take shots of insulin for your whole life until your feet fall off and all kinds of other terrible effects happen, and you know, stuff like that. I'm going to start doing a series of videos like that as if it was okay to talk about these things, because in theory it's actually not illegal, but we'll see what happens. So I want to get your feedback if you think that's useful or not. I'll know if you join the club, because then I'll be talking to you every Saturday night, and it's a support group that takes you through these difficult situations, or just wanting to get your health and energy back and be through this nonsense about what they call normal aging. It's not normal. It's not required. You don't have to fall apart. You don't have to forget who you are and have all these terrible degenerative diseases happen, or have, and worried about infectious diseases all the time. If your body gets clean and nourished the right way, I mean, like for me, I never worry about infectious diseases at all. I mean, microorganisms are all through our body. They're there to balance things out, not to kill you, right? So you got to shake off this crazy way of thinking. And no matter what situation you're in, or if it was me, I would not allow myself to get discouraged or believe what the doctors say. They're really good at saying, you're going to be dead in this many months, or you're paralyzed, you're never going to walk again, forget that. I would never believe that stuff, because it's the opposite of a placebo. I think they call it nocebo. In other words, you believe something terrible is going to happen, and so you make it true. And even if it's too late, and you're too much damage has been done, or some of the people that I've known, they're too toxic and they don't really find out what's going on until they're almost ready to leave the body. I don't like the word death. I think it's highly misleading. It's not accurate. I remember having gone through it before. It's disorientation. And then again, you got to get used to a new form and a new environment wherever you happen to be. But you're not gone. It's just like walking from the living room into the kitchen. I mean, it's not a tragedy, except for the people that miss you, of course. So don't worry about that. I wouldn't even be afraid of that. Wouldn't be afraid of anything. I'd recommend ditching fear. It's never helped anybody with anything. And in most cases, recovery is possible if you learn quickly how to work with nature and really change your lifestyle habits, what you're eating and drinking, and don't smoke anything, whether it's tobacco, marijuana, or any of that stupid stuff. Don't do it. Get away from the Wi-Fi and learn how to move, how to sleep, how to get sunlight on your body and in your eyes, and all of this stuff, the right way to do it. Anyway, we'll get, if you're in one of these situations and you want to share in a good environment, meet us at the club on Saturday night, or at the archives. But I will make more of these videos. I'm just going to start doing it, and we'll see what happens. And ultimately, you don't need me. You don't need anybody. You are the I'd say the really ultimate source of energy is inside you. Always has been. We just got a little bit diverted and disconnected, and these mind programs took us away, made us feel powerless and weak, and we're convinced that we need experts to tell us the right answers to everything. And then it turns out, oh, they were wrong, and what they told you will kill you, but we're sorry, and now they're really right, so don't worry about it. There's a lot wrong with that picture. What's inside you has never been wrong. You just have to get back in touch with it. And that's really, when I work with people one-on-one, that's the main thing I try to do, is help them get back that connection, because that's permanent. It will always be with you, whether you're in this body or not, whether you're here or not. It's never leaving you. You're always going to be with it, and you might as well start enjoying it now. So that's what it comes down to for me. Anyway, learn to tune into that, and it will really help you. It will do things that are beyond magical, that are good, and you're going to feel a lot better. Thanks for letting me go on so long. I'm sorry I couldn't do it shorter, but let me know what you think. Meet me in the club if you can, and otherwise I'll see you next time.